GTFO, my painting. My sugar daddy is coming soon. I don't know where you gotta go, but you gotta get out of here. This was Euphoria, season 3, episode 6. And this was an interesting episode, kind of slower than normal. We didn't have nothing crazy happen. Well, particularly, just more of a slow episode that, I don't know, wasn't that interesting to me, but it set up some stuff possibly for the future that I'm interested in. It was some funny moments too. I laughed. We got to see more of Rue's personality, and we learned a lot about Alamo to start the show. And we also learned that Rue has personality all of a sudden, and putting your head 6 foot in the dirt will do that for you. It will absolutely do it. And having a golf club swan at it will bring up fans and give you a personality again that you haven't had in seasons. I'm your boy Zelmae, and this is the Keep an Eye on review of Euphoria. And by the way, we learned a lot about Alamo. We learned a lot about a lot of people. Nate's still getting beat up randomly. The man found this man in a random field kicking endangered flowers. You don't have my money. No, that was hilarious. That was funny. I thoroughly enjoy that. Jules hates Rue. Rue has personality. Maddy is being a pimp, but Alamo don't play that. There's a lot going on in this episode. Let's get into it. Yeah, this is just a theory episode simply because it wasn't really nothing to react to. But we did learn about Alamo and how he ain't gonna never let another play him, and it's all based around his mother. Of course it's based around his mother. Most black men's issues tend to come around something to deal with their mother, especially if they're in a single parent household without a certain stability. And it's not blaming the mother in general, it's just that lack of having a man in your life tends to make a young man who doesn't have that man in his life feel a certain type of way. And without that, specifically in a black family, some have uncles and grandpas that help out and that eases it. But when you question being a man and you're aggressive and you're more emotionally driven and things like that because you see certain things in your life, especially in the hood. So that's just a hood experience, not my experience, but in the hood, you kind of find it out. But I'm being way too serious right now. I just want to get that out of the way before we get into the funny stuff. Because Alamo don't come to play because he had an ugly stepdaddy. His stepdaddy had chemicals fell on his face, and they all just randomly just kept calling this man ugly. Even the man who he bought food from said they ought to pay you for what they did to your face. And they had a happy life. Alamo had the greatest childhood. He was raised right, it seemed like. And then they robbed him and his mama left this man for another man and consider that man a mark, and now she's going to another mark, and now Alamo feels like he the mark and he ain't never letting up play him. Yeah. So now he, as we stated earlier, he has like these issues with ever being played. Which I thought maybe he was bullied or he wasn't that guy, but it turns out it comes from his mama, and seeing men get played his whole life, he decided he was never gonna be one of them suckers. And it makes sense. All right, I'm cool with it. And this episode was unique because Rue was the most normal in this episode. I even showed the image at the beginning in which she was actually kind of normal in this, and she showed emotion. Because normally this whole season, she sits on that couch with some dirty socks with holes in it and just looks and be like, The whole time just, I don't know. It's good. Do you love me? I don't know if I love you. You want to be with me? You want to kiss me? I don't know. This episode, she had full emotion. I'm like putting her head 6 feet deep and putting her head up, and then it woke something in her. She brought up Faye. She cussing out Faye, who got a Nazi tattoo on her ass down from her racist boyfriend, who trying to put some pale plastic babies. I don't know what he said. He said something. Y'all tell me in the comments what he said. He put pale babies in her with a Nazi tattoo. By the way, when she was laying down, I did not see the Nazi tattoo. It's like they just put it on her ass, but didn't show it when she was laying down. Because I did look for it. Because Faye did make that replica key, but I was looking for that. I'm like, where is it at? He gave her a swastika on her ass, and I don't see it no more. In the exact same part they put it. Like, y'all just like, we ain't finna put that much effort to put this in every scene. And I respect it. See, I get it. I understand it. You don't want to put that much effort, but it still threw me off because I was actually going to look for it to see if it happened. Which, like I said, we got a Fez reference. We got her ex-boyfriend who put Fez in jail reference. And we learned Faye trying to put a baby in Faye, which is interesting. Then we continue through the show, and Laura and Alamo meet. I hate Laura's voice. She sounds like they were always watching. Like, why are you so annoying to me? Her and Alamo meet, and we learn about one of his businesses, the hospital business, in which we saw earlier when Rue dropped off old girl, whom we never seen that girl again. It's over. Shout out to her. I forgot her name maybe because it wasn't important, I guess. Shout out to Marshawn Lynch for stepping up to the races. Cause like, hey, bro, we ain't doing that. You were talking a little too spicy. Shout out to Bishop putting the gun and on the side. Like, I will end you fast. But to get the money back that he lost from this strip club, he needed her to give the money back and set it up, but she needed him because the border with the DEA is broken down. Rue, you saw Rue with the sneak. Let me put the phone right here so y'all can listen. We got the police off her back, by the way. And the whole plan was they get passes to go across the border to like help people across the border and stuff his business does. So they're going to use that as a way to get around. And Laura wants Rue to go, but Alamo don't trust Rue right now, so she cannot go. But essentially sets up everything. We getting the setup. Rue seems a little more freer. She seems like life was setting up until Jules told her to get the GTFO and get off my pain, which this ain't the scene. The pain falls on her, which I thought was hilarious. There's a lot of little hilarious scenes in this show. And then Rue, after this scene, warns Maddy, but Maddy thinks she a boss, right? Which goes into, we gonna see the real issue, because I think Rue is kind of gonna be like free for the next, 3 episodes? 2 episodes? Because this episode, 6? The Rue is free for the next few episodes, but we have an issue here because Maddy now is in the line, and Maddy is a boss bitch. Maddy likes to play, and we found this out. Alamo don't like to play. What do you think is gonna happen between Maddy and Alamo? Because you know it's gonna come down to them two. Maddy likes to play games, and Alamo doesn't. So I'm interested to see where that goes, because that could go somewhere crazy. And then we get into the scene I've been talking about the whole time, the intro scene, the one you see on the thumbnail. You see Rue talking to Jules, like I said, more personality, and Jules calls it a mistake because she calls Rue out on her shit. Like, listen, you just run in and out of my life. You just come in and come out of people's lives and then just chill and be like, oh yeah, this is meant to be. I saw a flaming cross at the end, which I don't know if that's a great sign. It's a reference to the Bible of the burning bush, but it's a burning cross, which historically, burning crosses is not typically good for somebody that looked like Rue or her mom, which we saw Bishop learn. That's not typically a good thing because she's on her way to get this key and open this safe and steal from Laura. But like I said, the burning cross ain't. She took it as a sign. I take it as like, that's dangerous. You don't know. You might be at a rally, queen. Might need to get out there. But back to the original story. She calls out for the constant moving, and Rue calls out like, what you think you gonna do, be a sugar baby? You think you gonna leave his wife? No. That's a front. He ain't leaving his front for you. You just gonna be pent up. You can't go nowhere. He done told you ain't nobody invited to your house. What you gonna do? It's hilarious. Cassie didn't have as big a role in this episode, neither did Maddy. But Cassie was here, and she got a bigger role by completely improvising and just making up bullshit. Basically telling her Maddy's story and crying about it, which caught all of Lexi's boss's mind. And they just like, I'm interested. Well, our storyline was just basic and boring. So what do we do with this? The male actor just went with it too. Shout out to him. And so they were like, let it keep going. Which ended up getting her the role and getting her story told because Lexi was hating. Lexi was pure-blooded hating. To the point where she was basically telling the lady, oh, she does OF. She's like, oh, it's not risque. What about the news? Well, it's proper. It's like Playboy, essentially. And then Lexi kept going and hating to the point where, what about the special video? JY. What's JY? And they found out what it was. I even wrote this in my notes, capital letters so I can remember. She was shocked. She's like, they need instruction. I laughed. I paused the show and laughed so hard. They need instruction. And then the old girl said, is OF the new feminism? But essentially they told her, they gave Lexi credit, even letting Lexi write about Cassie's character. And be like, oh, you brung your sister to us to save her from that life. So now Cassie had to delete OnlyFans, in which she cried to delete it. She even called Nate, but Nate wouldn't answer because he was in the wild, stumping the flower that ruined his life. And then getting beat up by this random dude. And then she got a package later with his finger in it, which is a threat to her too. Which is gonna be a problem because we saw something in the preview that we ain't saw when we only got 2 episodes left. But maybe it's a play. Maybe it's her in the movie. And we thought it was gonna be something else and it's somebody else that go get caught. Maybe that was a thrown off. And then we had this hilarious scene in which before Cassie deleted her OnlyFans, which she did, she deleted it. And then she was crying and all that. And then she's like, didn't hurt as bad. But then when she was outside, by the way, I forgot about this. Thank you, God, I'm famous. That's all I ever wanted. We know, Cassie, you was a very surface level girl. That's all you ever wanted. It was simple. And that's most of the episodes. Like I said, Rue got Faye to take a picture of this key that she's going to get. And now she has to go to Laura's house and steal. So that's going to be an interesting episode. I feel like this was a setup episode for the final 2 or 3 episodes. We got episode 7 and 8. So we got those 2 episodes going. So I think, yeah, we got what? Yeah, I think 2 more episodes. So that's a good setup for the final 2 episodes. Final 2 episodes, that's a great setup. We have them going across the border. And the police know it, so it's going to be set up. We have the key situation that Rue is about to go through. Cassie just deleted her OnlyFans, which I don't know how Nate's going to pay off his bills now because he has to get paid. And OnlyFans was instant, so I don't know what that's going to do. Maddy versus Alamo is coming up soon, so we got a lot to look forward to. We got 2 episodes and a lot of juicy things to talk about. So even though this episode was kind of meh in terms of things happening, it was a great setup episode for things to happen, which I hope they feel. But this season has a lot of slow moments compared to every other season. And then I saw, by the way, shout out to people at work. My friend Sutton, shout out to her. She brought up the way they dress too. Have y'all had a problem with that? With her attire? Because the attire look like 60s in modern time. Rue always dresses old, but Maddy's hair has been like a 60s style, 70s style. Showgirl Cassie, the same thing. By the way, when they was doing that photo shoot, I see sometimes I be wondering what people see in Sydney. I'm like, she all right. But then sometimes I'm like, all right, I see it. I get it. But shout out to this episode. Like I said, it's a good setup. We have some funny moments that made me laugh. They need instructions. The Nate getting beat up. A lot of things. I'm repeating myself. I apologize. I appreciate y'all. Keep stumping. Like and subscribe. This has been a Zell React Zell Theory episode. More theory than reacts because it was more me coming up. It wasn't a lot to just react to. So I just went with theory. I appreciate y'all. Peace.